Welcome to the Sounds of the World. We are your hosts, Hillary and Bill.
Together, we're going to travel around the world to discover new music, discuss musical topics, and interview fascinating people.
Our world is a buffet of music, and it is time to eat. Welcome to Sounds of the World. I'm your host, Bill.
And I'm your host, Hillary.
And we're going to take you around the world and show you new music, interview fascinating people, and just discover the many facets of music around the world. So this episode is just going to be an introduction to ourselves. As I said, I'm Bill, and I'm originally from Idaho, but I just finished my PhD in music composition at Louisiana State University. Go Tigers! And we then moved to Texas, where I live outside of Houston. I originally started studying piano when I was 8, and then around college time, I got my bachelor's in piano and then went to do my master's in composition. I've always kind of had a love for music composition. Let's see. I've kind of been all over the place. Met Hillary in this great program called EMA, the European American Music Alliance, Nadia Boulanger Institute. And we stayed in a building called the Colegio on the University of Paris, University of Paris campus. And it was great. Like, we were sitting in this giant auditorium, introducing all ourselves. Everyone was like, oh, I'm from Brown. I'm from NYU. I'm from UCLA. And then Hillary stands up and she's like, I just finished at University of Montana. I was like, oh, no.
Yes.
Like, Montana, yay!
I know you.
Like, I've been to that campus. I know that campus. And then we talked a little bit and started hanging out. It was great, and made fast friendship, and dealt with all the hot weather of Paris and no air conditioning, and
Still have nightmares about it.
Luckily, it's not like Texas where it's 100 degrees outside even at midnight. So we became friends and just stayed in touch. What about you, Hillary? Why don't you give a little background on yourself?
Yeah, so I am actually originally from Texas. I was born in Houston, lived outside of New Braunfels when I was a kid. Go Unicorns. Believe it or not, that is their school mascot.
Serious? That's their mascot?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't even know that.
Yes, they have a water tower that says Unicorn Country on it. Google it, you will not be disappointed.
I'm going to have to go to New Braunfels now. Just to see that. Not the water park, just to see
not
that.
Schlitterbahn. Go to just the water tower.
We'll drive up. Oh, there's the water tower. Okay, time to turn around. And you're like, no!
So anyways, grew up in New Braunfels. We moved to Montana when I was 12. I graduated from a rural high school in Montana. Decided to attend the University of Montana, where I studied music composition. I graduated in 2015, entered the workforce. Hated the workforce. No, I had some very cool jobs that really motivated me to go back to get my master's. I'd always dreamed of going overseas. I'd actually planned a huge trip after my undergrad, but it ended up falling through. So I decided to pursue my master's overseas, and graduated from the University of Birmingham in 2018.
Now you got to do it with the accent.
They're going to make me mad at me for not saying that with the accent. So, University of Birmingham.
There we go. The University of Birmingham.
It's Birmingham, not Birmingham.
Birmingham, that's right.
I know. I was so screwed up because I have the Texas accent comes out every now and then also an English accent started coming out. And for a while there, it was pretty messed up.
And don't forget about the Northern American accent with the long O's.
The A's, the big, magazine.
Yeah. A big. Got a bagel.
Right before I did my master's, though, I decided to go to Paris and do the European American Musical Alliance, and that's where I met Bill. And we hit it off, I think, probably because of our socioeconomic status. We made good friends with another kid there, and we all were able to just bond and have a good time. Probably because we don't come from money. So we were
Right.
able to just kick it, have a good time on a budget, and enjoy it. So yeah, that's kind of our background and how we met.
You mean Poppy?
Poppy!
Poppy, Sergio,
Oh,
Lucky Duck, still in Paris.
I know, living that dream.
So,
But
okay.
yeah,
Well, okay. Well, so I think we should also talk about like what our favorite types of music are. Um,
yeah, absolutely.
I think now I know mine's going to be different from Hillary's purely because of one key factor, and that Hillary is synesthesia.
I am cross-wired. If you've never heard of synesthesia before, it's actually really fun to look up. There are like dozens of types of it.
Hmm.
A lot of famous composers have it, and they have one of the most popular versions is where you see key centers in music as color. I'm not that fortunate.
Well,
It
we'll be
sounds
also be
incredibly
interesting.
helpful.
We'll also be interviewing a guy who sees each pitch has a different color.
Oh man, I can only
Yeah,
imagine that. I
it's gonna
have
be
that.
great.
So I have synesthesia where I have texture. So every sound looks like a texture in my mind's eye. And it also goes the other way. Every time I like see motion, I hear a sound corresponding with that. As a kid, I never understood what the mute button on a television was. I'd hit mute and I'd be like, "What? It's still going."
Yeah, well, it's still loud. I don't understand what's going on.
So I think that definitely influences the music that I like to listen to. I love music that is it focuses on texture or has like either a really chaotic, crazy texture like Charles Ives. He's one of my
Mm.
favorites. Just sounds like you're putting your head into like a giant oil painting and there's colors and chaos and it's just I love it.
Oh yeah, and check him out more than from just his unanswered question and stuff. His music
Yeah.
crazy.
He one of his famous quotes was take your music like a man. Just I think it's so sexist now, but I love that quote because he was just like so unapologetic and just like super abrasive with his music and just was like, "What? Take it like a man."
I like it. I think that's awesome. Not in a
uh,
sexist way, just like
yeah, just like, here it's gonna be
it
in
is.
your face.
Yeah, I'm just doing it. Just love it.
um, but yeah, and then on the flip side of that, I love like really delicate textures. I love the Romantic era, Chopin, and getting into the Impressionists like Debussy and
Mm.
Mahler, and going forward along that line. Just
Talk
those
about thick
really,
chords.
yeah, just like those really beautiful, like I say they're delicately done, but like you said, there you get these really rich sonorities in there, and all beautiful to look at.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Luckily.
but yeah, and then on the flip side of things, I love listening to pop. I love classic rock. I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. Grew up on the
Yes.
Beatles. Love you too. Like love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. All sorts of stuff
Although,
like
did you
that.
hear that the guitarist just passed away?
No, John
Yeah.
Frusciante,
No, 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 no. This is the other one.
their newest guy. Oh, what was his name?
Jason something, or
Oh
he was 64. Yeah,
man, that's so sad.
yeah. And then I realized, man, 64. If he was in there when I was watching, I feel really old now.
I like how traded. They're always trading who they've got. Like it's always Flea and Anthony, and then
Right,
insert drummer here, or insert bass,
right.
insert guitarist here. So, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah. Bill, what are your favorite types of music?
Well, like you, I love lots of different classical music. I kind of steer away from much before the classical period.
Mm,
Um,
same.
I just Yeah.
Even though we all know Bach is king.
Oh yes, Bach is king. You can't spell king without Bach. So, especially if you're into trumpets. But I like to steer more towards the 20th century composers. So Mahler was always my favorite.
Yeah.
In fact, every year for my birthday and Christmas, whatever symphony I didn't have published, I would always ask for the other ones from Mahler. So I was like, even as a little kid, I was like, I want the third, no, the fifth, you know.
Yeah.
And then, so there was Mahler. I love Shostakovich, of course.
Yeah.
And let's see, so many. I mean, Percy Granger's okay.
Yeah.
Bartok was amazing. I've been in a real big Prokofiev kick.
Oh, I love Prokofiev, and I think people like to pit him against Shostakovich, and I'm like,
Or Rachmaninoff.
yeah, and I'm like, they're just Prokofiev is his own entity. Like his music's
Yeah.
just very playful and has a lot of spirit to it. Not to say that
Yeah.
the other Russian composers don't, but I'm a sucker for Prokofiev.
Like his dissonance isn't like to be annoying, you know. It's kind of like, yeah, like you said, it's playful. So he's like this little kid that's like just putting things together and finding out what works. And you know, sometimes there'll be like a little pattern, and then he'll stick like a white brick in the middle of it. And you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
what? You know?
I know. I'm thinking of his the film scores that he did. I want to say it's like the Battle on Ice.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's such a fun one. And
I love his piano concertos.
mm,
They're amazing. But yeah, so a lot of the same ideas. I've grown to love Liszt,
mhm.
although the man is insane, or was insane.
His style is pretty fun.
Yeah, as a former pianist, I don't know what he was doing. But from there, I also really enjoyed like getting away from classical music. I really like the new stuff that's coming out. So like a lot of the new composers, like Quinn Mason's really good. I know Mara Gibson's music's really cool. A couple other ones, but yeah. And then of course, getting away from that genre in particular, I pretty much love everything except country. Don't
Oh,
hate me.
same. And I'm trying to like country. My boyfriend loves country, so he'll put it on. I mean, he doesn't love it, but he listens to it. He grew up with it.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm trying to open my horizons, and then every now and then you get a good one, and then sometimes I'm like casually hitting the radio to the next station.
You're like,
I
where's
tried
the
it. I
talk
gave
radio? Let's go to
on.
that.
Is NPR on here?
Right. I mean, like I like things like Hank Williams and stuff like that. You know,
Oh yeah, those are fun.
the classic ones. Those are really cool.
Yeah, I like to admit I enjoy Billy Currington.
Mm.
Got a good voice. I'll give him that.
So yeah, I really like you. I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin and The Who, The Doors,
Yes. Lord.
Cream. See, she was my mom. You know, when we weren't listening to Mahler and other composers, we listened to that kind of rock music. And she wasn't much of a Beatles fan, so I listened to that in secret.
Over here, like I grew up with Sgt. Pepper's. My mom was like on a mission to collect all the albums when I was a kid, and so
Oh,
like,
okay.
it was actually and it was cool because I got to see Paul McCartney play when he came to Missoula. I think it was like 2015 or
Oh,
something.
cool.
And they played the like Abbey Road sequence, like the back half of that album that all blends
Yeah.
together. And like I was the only one in like 5-person radius that was like singing along, and everyone's like, "How do you know this?" I'm like, "The B side of Abbey Road." Like, I did not know this.
That's awesome.
Oh man, that was an amazing concert. He like donated tickets to the music school,
Oh,
and
really?
called in fast enough, you got one. So I called, got put on the waiting list, and then somebody backed out, and we were like 3 or 4 rows from the stage. It was amazing.
What do you back out for? Like a family?
I
Even if it was a family death, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I've got occupation, like other things I gotta do.
Paul McCartney, Sir Paul is here. I have to go see him
The
play.
night is here. I can't miss this. It's like, Ugh.
Yeah, I was just stoked. I was like, yes, whoever dropped out, like, thank you.
Yeah, we won tickets in Reno to some Huey Lewis. We won tickets to Huey Lewis because I just like happened to tweet or call into the radio station while I was driving on the
Wow.
freeway,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to work that night, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm sick. I can't come in," and so. But I think we were the youngest ones there. Everyone else was like retirement age,
Oh,
you
that was.
know.
I saw Gordon Lightfoot at a concert like that, and everyone was like 60s, 60s or above, and I'm like, Gordon Lightfoot, like, damn. Oh,
You ever heard of the band Marcy
ew.
Playground?
Uh-uh.
They did the song "I Smell Sex and
Oh,
Candy."
yeah, yeah.
They came through my hometown, Pocatello, and one of my friends was like opening for him in his band, and like
Nice.
a lot of young people were there to see that band. And then like as Marcy Playground came out, I was like, "Yeah, it's Marcy Playground!" cheering and freaking out. Like knew all their songs, you know, and all these young people were like, "Who are these old people on stage?" It's like that is not fair. Go away.
Get out of here. Let me enjoy this.
You have school tomorrow. Go away. So, but yeah, so I grew up on that and stuff, and then I like a lot of weird things too. Like, a dear friend of mine does music called math rock, and we'll be talking about that, and it's really cool. But I also love rap and hip hop, and actually my dissertation's on that. So,
Yeah.
grew up listening. Like, I snuck in an NWA tape back in the days when they had tape into
Yeah.
my house and listened to it when my mom wasn't home.
Oh, do you remember tape? Did you do this as a kid where you took a cassette and you taped the radio and that's how
Yeah.
you played the song?
Oh yeah.
I'm like Spotify, like any song I could dream of, and I'm like I remember like listening and waiting for like Eminem to come on and then like hitting record,
Yeah, and then you just hope the quality is good enough.
and you get like half of it, and you'd be like, yeah.
When I was little, we also had like a little Fisher Price stereo,
Mhm.
and we would take the stereo like to daycare with us, and we put in Michael Jackson, and this was like at a park, and we'd close it and turn it on and have the music going, and a little group of like 6 or 7 little 8-year-olds dancing around pretending they're Michael Jackson, you know.
Yeah. Billie Jean.
Yeah.
Shut up, Mom. It's fine.
What are you listening to? Nothing. It's fine. It's praise
Not
Jesus.
Beatles.
Yeah. So yeah, that's me. I love everything except country. So I will
Same.
listen to it if it's on and I have no control. But other than that, I prefer to stay away from it.
I usually won't go seek it out, but being in Montana, it's everywhere. But
Oh
it's
yeah.
people
I
enjoy it too. I'm not gonna rip on you for enjoying it.
no. We'll probably talk about some of that stuff too, like some of the things that they've done that you know, because there's some fascinating things going on in country music. So
Yes.
whether it's Nashville or, you
No,
know,
I was thinking like, oh, Grand Ole Opry though. That history is pretty cool.
yeah. But yeah, so we wanted, like I said, we kind of wanted to create this podcast to kind of share our love for music with anyone who wants to listen, and not just kind of enlighten ourselves, but see if anyone else be interested in any of the topics too, I think, right?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited to dive into just everything. I think nothing's off limits here, and
No.
we couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, I mean, we've got things coming up from like Hindustani classical music all the way to like Asian instruments to, I mean, I was writing down other topics too, like, you know, like chain gang songs and other things like that, you know,
One of my
early
friends,
blues.
punk cabaret band.
Hey, yeah,
The
that's
last
cool.
title of their album was like "The Lizard Monster Eats Everybody."
Wow,
It's great.
that's awesome. And even interviewing like some actual classical too, so
Thanks for listening to the Sounds of the World podcast.
I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll have links to everything in our description. So please follow those links and give them likes and subscriptions. Like we like to say, the world is a buffet of music, and it's time to eat. So go eat and enjoy and discover.
And on that note, I'm going to go have a bite and maybe a beer.
Hey, there you go. Bye.
Bye.